Most people wait. They wait for permission, for the right time, for someone to hand them an opportunity. High agency people don't wait. They move. They find a way or make one. But being more high agency is terrible advice if no one tells you how. So today, I'm going to give you the tactical playbook, what to actually do week by week, and more importantly, how to measure whether it's working. But before we talk tactics, let's get precise about the definition because most people get this wrong. High agency isn't about being loud, aggressive, or relentlessly optimistic. It's not the hustle culture guy who outworks everyone. High agency is a relationship with obstacles. A high agency person, when they hit a wall, asks, how do I get around this? A low agency person asks, who's going to move this for me? Or worse, just stops. It shows up in small moments constantly. Your flight is canceled. Do you immediately start rebooking and calling the airline, or do you stand in the long line because that's what you're supposed to do? Your project hits a blocker. Do you find a workaround, escalate clearly, or do you just wait for the blocker to resolve itself? High agency is a muscle. You build it through reps. Here are 7 tactics you can implement immediately. Tactic 1, the 10-minute rule. Whenever you feel stuck or like you need help, you must spend at least 10 minutes trying to solve it yourself before asking anyone. Not because asking is bad, but because most of us outsource our thinking too fast. I do this with my kids. I ask them to take a first pass at their homework. And if they can't figure it out, just try and we will go through it together and correct any mistakes. As adults, we should do this too. The 10-minute rule forces you to engage your own problem solving first. This also trains a habit of attempting before requesting. Over time, you'll find you need to ask far less. And when you do ask, you come in with a half formed solution that makes collaboration much faster. The next tactic is reframing every I can't to how can I? This is a language intervention that rewires your thinking. Every time I catch myself saying, I can't do this, immediately convert it to, how could I do X? You don't have to answer it. Just asking the question shifts your brain from closed to open. Keep a running note for 1 week. Every time you catch a can't thought, write it down as a how. At the end of the week, look at the list. You'll be surprised how many of those can'ts were actually untried assumptions. The third tactic on the list is run preemptive problem solving. High agency people don't just solve problems, they anticipate them. Before any important meeting, project, or conversation, take 5 minutes to ask, what's most likely to go wrong here? And what's my plan if it does? This isn't pessimism, it's operational awareness. When you've already gamed out the failure modes, you move faster when they occur because you've already mentally rehearsed the response. The next tactic is ask for forgiveness, not permission, strategically. Here's the nuance most people miss on this classic advice. It's not a license to be reckless. It's about having a clear internal threshold for what decisions require buy in versus what you can just execute. Map your domain. Write down the decisions in your life and work. For each one, ask, what's the cost of being wrong here? Is it low cost? Just do it. High cost or irreversible? Get alignment first. The goal isn't to ignore accountability, it's to stop asking for permission on things that don't warrant it, which is where most people bleed their agency. The fifth tactic is give yourself imposed deadlines. Parkinson's law says work expands to fill the time available. Low agency people let this happen by default. High agency people fight it by imposing artificial constraints. Pick one open ended task you've been circling. Right now, set a deadline that is uncomfortably soon. Tell someone about it, then execute. The discomfort is the point. It forces a decision about what good enough actually means, which is a core high agency skill. Tactic 6: build a network before you need it. Low agency people treat their network as a 911 service. They call when there's an emergency. High agency people invest in relationships continuously so that when they need to move fast, they have people to call. The tactical version of this: reach out to one person a week who you admire, have lost touch with, or whose work interests you with no ask. Just genuine curiosity or a useful resource. This isn't networking in the gross sense. It's building a fabric of people who are happy to hear from you. And the last tactic: do the uncomfortable, obvious thing. Most of the time, you know what the high agency move is. You're just not doing it because it's uncomfortable. There's a pitch you haven't sent, a conversation you've been avoiding, a decision you've been sitting on. The tactic is simple and brutal. Identify one thing you've been avoiding that would move you forward most and do it today. High agency people have a shorter lag between knowing what to do and doing it. You shorten that lag by building the habit of acting on the obvious, uncomfortable thing quickly before your brain talks you out of it. So we can do all of these tactics, but without measurement, these are just experiments with no feedback. Here's how to actually know if you're becoming more high agency. The first metric is your wait time before acting. Start tracking, even informally, how long it takes you from recognizing an action to taking it. This is your personal lag time. High agency is characterized by short lag. Over weeks, notice: are you acting faster? Are you catching yourself mid hesitation and pushing through? You can do this with a simple daily journal entry. What did I act on today that I would have previously delayed? The next metric is problem to solution ratio in your communication. Look at your emails, Slack messages, meeting contributions from the last 2 weeks. What percentage of your communication leads with a problem versus a proposed solution? High agency people almost always pair problems with at least a partial solution. If your messages are mostly here's an issue, thoughts, and rarely here's an issue, here's what I think we should do, does this make sense? That's a signal. Set a personal goal. 80% of the time, when you raise a problem to others, include your recommended path forward. The third metric is tracking attempted before asking rate. Keep a simple tally for 1 month. Every time you ask someone for help or guidance, mark whether you genuinely tried to solve it first. You're aiming to see that rate go up over time, not because asking is bad, but because the quality of your ask improves dramatically when you've put in the work first. And often you won't need to ask at all. Metric 4 is outcomes on things you initiated versus were assigned. Look back over the last quarter. Make two lists: things that happened because you initiated them and things you did because someone else assigned them. High agency people have a growing initiated column. If yours is mostly assigned, that's not a judgment, it's data. You can deliberately add one self initiated project, conversation, or goal per month and watch this ratio shift. The next metric is ask for feedback directly. This one requires courage, but it's the most accurate signal. Find 2 or 3 people who interact with you regularly: a manager, a peer, a close collaborator. Ask them directly: do I come across as someone who takes initiative and finds ways around obstacles? What's an example of where I haven't? This is uncomfortable. That discomfort is also the point. The feedback will be more calibrating than any self assessment. And here's the final thing I'll say about high agency: it's not a personality trait you either have or you don't, it's a skill built through deliberate reps over time. Start with one tactic this week, not all 7. Pick the one that resonates most, or better yet, pick the one you're most resistant to. That resistance is usually a signal. Set a 30-day check in with yourself using at least two of the metrics I described earlier. Look at the data honestly. The people who seem to make their own luck aren't actually lucky. They've just built a systematic habit of moving when others wait, asking how when others say can't, and treating every obstacle as a routing problem rather than a stop sign. That's learnable. You can build it. If you like this content, please subscribe and support this channel. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one.